Imperial Pike Guard. One of the most coveted units back in the day. Front line, anti-cavalry, anti-infantry, the real stars of the show that make the pushes happen, but they fell out of favour. Until mastery has been added, and we are here to find out, are they back? Are they on top? Can they start the push again? Are they advancing their way into the meta? Again, with the emotional starts, let's get into the nitty-gritty and let's look. First, we should look at the Vectrancy lines and the doctrines. Of course, these guys back in the day were sort of a meta unit. I remember first TWs I did, everybody was using these. Obviously, they've fallen out of favour, but with the mastery, I think they're coming back in quite nicely. I've had some rough games that you will see in the clips coming up, but yeah, it's really nice to see them mastered. So anyway, without further ado, we'll have a look in the Vectrancy line. I have gone for top. Now, because one of the mastery things is for every 2 enemies you kill, you reduce the cooldown of your advance. I'm feeling like top line's the way to go because the more damage you do, the quicker you're going to get your advance back, the quicker you can advance again. Because that's the main issue with these, is if you don't get enough cooldown off their advance, you can tend to be caught out. And these guys are okay without their advance, but it's their main thing. So to have that off cooldown as quickly as possible, to me, is really important. So I take the top line just for a bit more damage. The bottom line is still very viable, especially now that they can go to 24 because you can get yourself, can't be stunned by ordinary attacks while advancing. So can still be really useful. But yeah, it's kind of up to you, but I'm going to say top line is probably better nowadays. And then if we go into doctrines, just got a polearm 1 doctrine up top here, just an extra bit of piercing damage. And then we got a charge. Now the charge is really nice because you can get them up to where they need to be at the front of a sort of an enemy push or something very quickly, and they sort of pack up quite nicely. And so you charge them, and then as soon as they hit, you advance them, and it's just a really nice combo. Next, we've got Imperial Pike Guard doctrine. Just reduce the cooldown of advance by 7 seconds. Just want to get that on the lowest cooldown as possible. And then we've got the Mobility doctrine. They're kind of slow, so I feel like this was necessary, and I managed to roll quite a nice one. Extra passive 5% speed, and then 15% when I press the button. So gets them to where they need to be fast. And then just a normal breakthrough. Probably should get that upgraded at some point. But yeah. I've taken mine much more down the sort of front line, not so much anti-cav. You can make these guys much more anti-cav, like if I was to put on this slow cavalry doctrine here to increase my damage to cavalry, that would probably be nice. But I've been finding I've been coming across a lot more like infantry pushing than actually killing any cav. So that's why we've kind of gone for this setup. They still will kill cav, but it's just not tailored towards that. And now let's look at the mastery. So we're starting off, we just got 160 piercing damage, very nice. 120 piercing defense, nice. And then 800 more points versus cavalry while advancing, and reduces damage taken by infantry while advancing by 500 points. And then moving on to Unending Loyalty. Now this, when you advance, you get an ability called Loyal Strike. And what this does is basically it cancels your advance and then hits with a big amount of damage. And basically when you click this button, you get the benefit from the second part of this that basically takes the cooldown off of your advance. So it's really useful. So you've got to kind of think about it when you advance and kind of time it right to get the maximum out of your advance to then move on and click Loyal Strikes that basically takes the button of advance. So yeah, it's a nice, very cool ability. Inspiring here, after The first 3 hits dealt by Advance, this unit will become immune to crowd control effects. So very, very nice for advancing. Really keeps them on the straight and narrow, heading straight through the packs you need them to do without being too disrupted. And then basically the next part, it builds up damage from the more damage you do with Advance, the more damage Loyal Strikes will inflict when you click it. So it basically gets an extra amount of damage for your Advance. So that's nice. That will add a nice hit to the unending loyalty. So yeah, really nice. So we're going to get in some clips. We've got some good clips and some bad clips. Obviously getting used to them, and they can get lost in packs very easily, so keep that in mind. But we'll go through the clips, we'll commentary through them, and yeah. So first off, I want to start with a bit of anti-caving, just seeing what they got. So this is us versus YOLO Cav, and you know, we take out a few of them, but as YOLO Cav goes, obviously it comes out on top, swiping away. We've still got half a stack left, but there's still YOLO Cav about, and yeah, it's sort of probably it counters most pikes anyway, or just kind of comes off the same. So in the next one, we're doing the Cataphracts Lancers, and I'm just pulling them through, and they obviously don't fare as well. That's a full stack wipe straight out the gates there, so that's pretty good. And then leading on to Monastic Knights, we're going to go in for the walk here. The thing funny about the Monastic Knights, it doesn't do too much to them straight away, but then I press the Loyal Strikes, and this is, yeah, it really wipes them. So yeah, Loyal Strikes in this case was really, really useful, and obviously reduced the cooldown of our Advance, so that was nice. But yeah, just wanted to see what they could do against the Cav now. That's nice. So into the first clip. Of course, with these sort of clips and this unit, the clip it's not good. I can't get a full game with them because they're normally a 1 or 2 time use before they walk too far into things. So we've got Iron Reapers here, and this shows the power of the mastery, that we just completely annihilate those Iron Reapers with minimal losses, and the hero. So yeah, really nice. And then in the same game here, I try my luck and try and get around the back here again. The same thing. For some reason, I'm running the wrong ult, so that's a bit of fun. But we take down the Onimusha here. Onimusha are really susceptible to being walked, but unfortunately, I get jabbed and dual-bladed. And then moving on to this one, nice little walk into these shields. The Imperial shields are a little bit tough for the walkers. They can be quite tricky if there's maybe a 2 stack of them in a big blob. They can stay upright. But we got a little walk on those shields. Now here we happen to be coming around the corner, and we've got I see some Cav just trying to go behind the building. So I bring them in. I'm a bit slow to go in, but we do get the Advance off. That is doing something, but then YOLO Cav comes along, 1 slash, half my unit's gone. So yeah, YOLO Cav, that's that for you. Moving on, we're on point here. We've got our guys, got a huge push coming up, so I'm getting them in position to see if I can walk from behind. So I go for a little charge to start off with here, just to get them into position, and then we get the walk going. And for some reason they're not moving at all at this point in time, and then they start moving. I don't know why, maybe a glitch or something. Now they start pushing forward. That's interesting, but yeah, they do really well there. But again, once that advance is over, it's over. So, and I get myself killed there as well. So into the side here, and yeah, this is a prime example about walking too far. I probably should have come in and cleared the front line out instead of going straight in like this. But it's quite cool to see you cutting a hole through the middle. But of course, as soon as the advance is over, whole stack wiped. That is of course the problem. But as I saying that, if you work with a teammate with these, and let's say you have someone with shield maidens and you've got the Imperial pikes, and you push and knock things over, and they follow behind to clear everything up, that's probably the best way to play these in a team. I think team play with these is really, really nice. So we're going to do a little charge into a walk here, take a lot of this cavalry out. Unfortunately, we're getting walked too, so it's walking towards each other. Monastic Knights, for some reason, hold up quite well, as you saw in the cav thing, until you press Law Strikes. And they had flames in there, so it was always going to end badly. Moving on, a little ground push here, get rid of those Onimusha. Maybe a little bit early on the advance, we left a few up there, but we have got some pushing forward and knocking things over. I wouldn't expect with this unit to get a load of kills unless you can sort of back advance someone. They're really just meant team play more than anything. They are very good, and I think the mastery has definitely helped with that. Like, we just clear out a thing of samurai right there, nice and easily. So yeah. So here, me and this guy had a bit of a staring match, but in the end he came, and I just thought I'd try and do a little advance while into an ult, so it worked out nicely. Then we press Loyal Strikes, and it's really nice when you press Loyal Strikes, just to clear up a small amount. I wouldn't say it's game-changing in terms of you're not going to destroy a full stack with it, but it's a nice little end to your advance, and it's worth doing because that's how you get your reset. So I charge these guys in here at the shields, and I see some halberdiers coming in on the tower, so I just quickly turn their advance to go that way and actually clear out the side. That worked out really nice, and then Loyal Strikes wipes out the rest of them. We get a little bit of a lower cooldown on our advance, that's nice, so we only have like 12 seconds left or so till we get our advance back, and we can go in for a second advance. Unfortunately, they're starting to build up quite a lot now, and yeah, so I thought I saw these flamethrowers, and I'm like, okay, let me protect these at least for a bit and get the advance going into them, and you can see some damage going up. We got a few things going on, but I missed my ult there. We still get the kill, and yeah, so now they've advanced stopped. They're now stuck in a big group of shields and Onimusha, and I'm trying to bring them out, but unfortunately the team is just going to chase them down. We got a few with us. But at this point, if you rush as the attacking team, this is where you want to rush, and they see them here, so I'm like, okay, let me turn them around and charge them and see if I can potentially do something. But that sort of spelled the end for my pikes. So yeah, unfortunate. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a bit of a difficult one because it's not like when I did my imp jab video, because with that you can get like a full game in, they survive for a long time, where Imperial Pikes are much more of a sort of, you might get 1 or 2 times out of them before they get wiped. You might have games where you get a lot more than that, but it's kind of rare because they're such a pushing unit, and yeah, they really get stuck into combat. They die a lot, and once that advance is over, unless you manage to get a good amount of kills on your Loyal Strike and get that advance cooldown down, you're very rarely going to get them out of combat because they've gone so far in. But nonetheless, I think the mastery has helped a lot. I'm not saying these guys are going to become full meta and you're going to see them all the time or anything like that, but I think it's definitely helped. In fact, the last bit of the mastery that makes them immune to crowd control once they hit a target or hit 2 targets, whatever, individually that is, seems to be the big one, to be honest. The Loyal Strikes is great, and it's really good if you're in a smaller engagement and you've walked over them and you cleared a lot of them up, and then you click it and it will reduce the cooldown, and the damage on the hit is very good and quite good at a single cav clear up. So obviously in the cav clip with the Monastic Knights, you know, they charged at us, we kind of slowed them down, and then we hit that and it wiped them all. That was very nice. But yeah, it's been a difficult one. I personally don't like playing them that much, but I think that's because I'm a dual blade and they're a bit slow for me and whatever. But I think if you're playing like a short sword, poleaxe, maul, or whatever, it'd be quite good to be, if you want to get them out of combat, to sort of walk them in and follow along behind them, and then let's say you're short sword and you belly flop as that's coming to an end, just to clear out a bit and then pull them back. That could be a very good way of being able to use them again and again and again. But if you're a new player, I think these are going to be great to get, purely for the fact that, let's say you want to get into TW or something, this is going to be a really nice entry unit to TW. Yeah, I think if you have minimal units, this is the one to you know, be taking to TW if you haven't unlocked, you know, Fort of Braccios or something like that. So yeah, but nice, good. It's a good change, and I think you're going to see them a little bit more every now and then. You know, even once the mastery hype dies down on them, I think you will still see them. So yeah, well, that's it then. That is it. If you've enjoyed my content, I would really appreciate the sub, and I just want to thank you for watching and all the comments we've had. It's been great. So I will see you guys in the next one.